Hello, this is 8 Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Phil and I'm Beth. Now let's talk about food. Okay, what food do you love? What food do you hate? If you ask around, you'll soon see there's no right or wrong answer. It's all a question of taste. But our taste, it turns out, isn't simply a matter of opinion. Rather, scientists have discovered that taste is influenced by our genes and DNA. So, in this program, we'll be asking what is taste? Why can't we agree on it? And and it and is this worth? Why can't we agree on it? And it is worth listening to experts whose job is to tell us what to eat and drink. And as usual, we'll be learning some useful new vocabulary as well. Great, but first, I have a question for you, Beth. A good way of finding a good way of finding out about British taste. Oh, great, but first, I have a question for you, Beth. A good way of finding out about British taste is with the nation's best loved snack, crepes. Crepes. So, what is the most popular flavor of crepes in the UK? It is A. Salt and vinegar, B. Cheese and onion, or C. Prawn cocktail. I'm going to guess cheese and onion. Okay, Beth, I'll reveal the answer later in program. Science understanding of how taste works started only 25 years ago with the discovery of taste receptors, cells located in the taste bud on your tongue. But people's taste is unique to them. What tastes sweet to me might taste sour or salty for someone else, and and this is because of differences in the receptors we were born with. In other words, taste is in other words, taste is partly genetic. Genetic. Here's Daniel Reed, researcher at the Monell Chemical Sciences Center in Philadelphia, explaining more to BBC World Service program The Food Trend. When we first started doing genetic studies, we really just confined ourselves to looking at a few Europeans, people of European ancestry, and so our understanding of the broad diversity of humans on the planet extremely limited. Was extremely limited. We are broadening we are broadening our horizons and studying people of Asian and African ancestry, and and that has really opened up the knowledge that people are much more diverse than we ever realized. And what you are saying is, no, taste isn't a matter of opinion, it's a matter of biology. Exactly, and we wouldn't, for our friends who are colorblind, we wouldn't trade them for not being able to see red or for dressing in colors we don't appreciate. We feel very free to criticize our friends' sense of taste. It was it was only when scientists it was only when scientists looked outside Europe to the rest of the world. It was only when scientists looked outside Europe to the rest of the world that they realized the diversity of human taste. Daniel says they broadened their horizons. They investigated something in a new way to increase their knowledge and understanding of it. Daniel compares taste to another genetically controlled condition, being colorblind or unable to see the difference between certain colors like green and red. You wouldn't chastise chastise chastise. You wouldn't chastise, chastise, criticize, or punish someone for being colorblind. Chastise. You wouldn't chastise, criticize, or punish someone for being colorblind. So why criticize someone's taste? But if scientists are telling us taste is largely genetic, but if scientists are telling us taste is largely genetic, but if scientists are telling us taste is largely genetic, what about what about what about largely what about restaurant critics and wine connoisseurs? Connoisseurs, connoisseur, connoisseur. What what about restaurant? What about restaurant critic and wine connoisseur? Wine connoisseur. People whose job it is to tell us what to eat and drink. Are their opinions any better than our our own? People whose job is it to tell us what to eat and drink. Are their opinions any better than our own? Are their opinions any better than our own? Here's here's David Commode. Here's David Commode, wine judge for the International Wine and Spirit competition, speaking with Ruth Alexander for BBC World Services. The food change. Scientists have established that taste is individual, individual, indi- individual, individual, individual. Scientists have established that taste is individual. Dual, dual. Scientists, scientists have established that taste is individual and to a large extent actually genetic. So I wonder, so I wonder, so I wonder that, so I wonder does that render the wine competition a pointless exercise. So I wonder does that render the wine competition a pointless exercise? No. Um, so I wonder does that render the wine competition a pointless exercise? No, I mean I would say that I wouldn't I? No, I mean I would say that. No, I mean I would say that, wouldn't I? I would I would say that, wouldn't I? But of course, but of course, indeed, indeed, but of course, individual, sure, but of course, individual taste is subjective. We all have our own personal pre- prejudice, 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 prejudice. But of course, individual taste is subjective. We all have our own personal prejudice in whatever sphere. Um, we all have our own personal prejudice in whatever sphere of life you want to go into. Of life you want to go into. But we are encouraged, I mean, ordered almost to park those prejudices. Since people's tastes are naturally different, Ruth asks if wine competitions are pointless without purpose and a waste of time. Um, since people's tastes are naturally different, Ruth asks if wine competitions are pointless without purpose and a waste of time. Being a wine judge, David, of course, disagrees. Being a wine judge, David, of course, disagrees, using the phrase, but I would say that, wouldn't I? This phrase means something like, this phrase means something like, of course I would say that. It implies some, it implies, it implies there's some reason that, it implies there's some reason, it implies there's some reason that what 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 the speaker is saying what the speaker is saying is obviously biased towards them. David admits that taste is subjective, based on personal opinions and feeling rather than on facts. And I think it's time to reveal the answer to the question, Phil. Right. Right, I asked for Britain's most popular flavor of crepes, and you said cheese and onion, which was the correct answer. Okay, let's recap the vocabulary we've learned in this program. Oh, um, right, I right. I asked for most right. I asked for Britain's most popular flavor of crepes. Right, I asked for Britain's most popular flavor of crepes, and you said cheese and onion, which was the correct answer. Okay, let's recap the vocabulary we've learned in this program, starting with the phrase to broaden or expand your horizons, meaning to explore something in a new way. Starting with the phrase to broaden or expand your horizons, meaning to explore something in a new way which increases your knowledge and understanding of it. To chastise means to strongly punish or criticize. A colorblind person is unable to distinguish certain colors, especially greens and reds. Something which is pointless, has no purpose of meaning, and is a waste of time. The phrase "I would say that, wouldn't I?" is a tag question, meaning of course I would say that. And finally, if something is subjective, it's influenced by personal beliefs or feeling rather than based on facts. Once again, our 6 minutes are up. Goodbye for now. Số phút mình đọc thành 10 phút. Anh Thái Anh